But it goes on, and he says, will I not on that day, declares the Lord, destroy wise men from Eden and understanding from the mountain of Esau? Have you been like me? Have you looked at the news media and go, how in the world can our leaders keep doing this? Who do we think we are? Can't they learn from Greece? Can't they learn from the euro? Can't they learn from the economic disaster we just had? How do we get out of debt? I don't know, let's get some more debt. Brilliant. All right? And on and on and on and on we go. And we just keep marching. How do we get along? Well, let's just tell everybody they can do whatever they want, even as an offense to God. Let's redefine every institution God ever gave us. Let's take God out of schools. Let's take God out of education. Keep on marching. And listen, for a second, please. The problem with America is not America, it's Americans. The problem with America is not Americans, it's churches that are supposed to raise up Christ followers. The problem with America is the dead church. The ineffective, weak, liberal, dead church. That's the problem with America. And we want to change America, let's change this right here. Let's love folks. Let's call them to truth. Let's acknowledge that we've been recipients of grace. Let's keep our behavior excellent among the Gentiles. And let's be humble. What God does, one of the means of judgment is he puts people in a position of leadership that aren't wise. Or that are so wise that they don't need God to correct them. That's what he did to Edom. Have you ever sat there and just go, can you believe who's leading us? Can you believe these congressmen, these senators, these governors, these presidents? Can you believe? And I'm not just talking about this administration. Take a glance backward and just go, are you kidding me? It is a form of judgment when he removes wisdom. What is wisdom? The beginning of wisdom is the fear of the Lord, not just in name and Sunday attendance, but in practical living. I'm in stinking verse 8, and it's 10, 12. How am I going to do this? Watch. Here we go. How many of you guys are interested in the book of Obadiah? It is so rich, all right? It is so stinking rich. He goes on, and he just basically goes through, and he just tells Edom, through the prophet Obadiah, hey, you're going to get yours, Edom. And so the day of the Lord is coming in verse 15. It's going to draw near for all the nations. As you have done, it will be done to you. Your dealings will return on your own head. Because just as you drank in my holy mountain, all the nations will drink continually. They will drink and swallow and become as if you had never existed. That's exactly what's happened to Edom. You cannot find Edomites today, Idumeans today. They have been assimilated into the Israelis. They've been assimilated into the Arabians. They've been assimilated to where they are no longer a distinct people group. They don't exist. Judgment has come upon them as a people. Are there still individuals that you could trace back a family tree and get to Esau? Absolutely. But as a people group, God's done with Esau. As individuals, he's never done with anybody. You should never assume he is. But as a people group, God's still committed to Jacob. See what goes on right there in verse 17. There's a but. Whenever you see a but in the Bible, you have to stand back and take a look at it. Remember that. All right? There's a but. It's a statement of contrast. As opposed to Esau, let's check out Jacob. Then but on Mount Zion there will be those who escape. It will be holy, and the house of Jacob will possess their possessions, as opposed to being ransacked, though they still don't know me. They still don't know that Joseph is their brother, that Jesus is their king. And I still think judgment's coming for Israel. But God will be the deliverer, and one day they won't look to America or other allies. They will look to God, who wants to be their God. And finally, they will recognize him for who they were and for who he is. It says, then those of the Negev will possess the mountain of Esau. So in other words, folks in southern Judah, they're going to go live where Esau lived. And those of the Shephelah, the Philistine plain, which is the western bank right there by the Mediterranean Sea, they're going to possess that. They're going to possess the territory of the Ephraim and the territory of the Samaria, and Benjamin will possess Gilead. All he's saying is here, what I told Abraham in Genesis 12, it's going to happen. Who through? The descendants of Jacob. Who are they? Israelis. Who are they? Jews. That's who. And the exiles of this host and the sons of Israel who are among the Canaanites as far as Zarephath, and the exiles of Jerusalem, on and on, the deliverers will ascend to Mount Zion to judge the mountain of Esau, and the kingdom will be the Lord's. If you heard this when you were an Israeli, living in a time right there, a Jewish person living in that nation who had been at war with Esau all throughout the monarchy, all throughout David's kingdom, all throughout Solomon's reign, all throughout those succeeding kings, you would go, when's the day that God's going to get done with Esau? Because it looks like Esau is really entrenched in the rock. It looks like Esau is having his way. When's God going to get it done? The answer is he's going to get it done. Obadiah is reminding the people of Israel, don't become like Esau to take on Esau. Trust in the Lord. Dwell in the land and cultivate faithfulness. Do good. Even though Esau doesn't love you, it is commanded in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 2, verse 12. Do not hate an Idumean, for he is your brother. Let me just tell you this. God takes very seriously sin. And I know you might have family members or coworkers or people that are coming at you in an unrelenting way, and they continue to make it hard for you to love them and forgive them. Guess what God expects you to do? Love them and forgive them. Seek to reconcile with them as much as you are able, be at peace with all men. You know what? Let me just show you. Romans chapter